Today was really, honestly, a surprisingly good day. And I took the biggest trade I've ever taken point wise. So my entry was around right here with the pyramid. Stop loss was still 70 points because our range is ridiculous. Right there, 73 points. And then final take profit was right here, 361. I was really aiming for this. I was wanting it to come lower to, potentially previous day low, but I was exiting based on where we were in terms of the day. If we pull up the daily CE, we have our low of the day right here, which is also a 90-minute micro, or sorry, 90-minute microcycle that we created in, is this London? Yeah, but I really wasn't looking to take any longs today, so I waited for the PO3, opening PO3. This was actually very nice. Bullish movement back into the OTE, first presented, and move higher from there. That would have been a great trade to this blue, or sorry, the green, which is high of day, and then we have previous day high up here. So after those two got swept, I really saw that there's no reason to go any higher because that's premium of the range. And if we're going to do something like we did yesterday, then we're going to have a quick reaction off of this. And you can see on ES right there, we have that SMT. This microcycle was the entire pivot for the market. And after that, we did have a daily cycle. So our daily cycle and our 90-minute, there was no 90-minute, but our daily cycle and our high, we hit true day open on YM. That was really enough. And our daily high and our previous day high is still intact. New daily opening gap not being traded into. So what was I looking at? Really, YM didn't do anything contradicting. It kind of fell in line with narrative and with both ES and Q. So on the 2 minute, sorry, this is 3 minute. I did notice that in the beginning we were trading on the 3 minute. So I was looking at this and I was wanting to enter short, and I did enter short here. I'll show the loss. It was one contract, and then I actually pyramided two because I was so confident in this trade playing out, which is unfortunate because I could have entered more if I didn't have that initial loss, but I was really looking for a winning day. So I closed it like $130 loss. So it was like 60 points almost. That was completely fine. I was looking to take this to also this low, but 1030 gave us the proof. We lined 1030, 90-minute PO3, and our 4 hour, and you can see our 4 hour is what I use as a confirmation to hold. We did not trade back into it. True microcycle opened, and we swept the high and just displaced lower. So after that, CE of the daily range was right, like literally right there. I had my limit right there. And then because I wanted to get a winning day at least, that would be my first limit. And I pyramided because I wanted two limits because I knew this would go lower than CE. But I thought it would go much lower, and it might, but that would take time. So second runner, low of AM right here. That's why I took it off. And looking at, let's start with the 30-minute PO3 because our daily cycle were XAMD, manipulation in the 90-minute and manipulation in the daily. Looks like it was at this low, but there was no DC. It was only a 90-minute, so it couldn't be manipulation. It couldn't be significant manipulation. Therefore, I was looking at this green line, which is high of day from, or basically Asia session high. And I was looking at previous day high because they were so close to each other. After that, okay, wait, let's start with the 30-minute PO3 because we had a perfect AMDX manipulation. This honestly looked like it should have happened earlier, but then first presented got created. You had to be patient for waiting for first presented, and then that re-entry in the optimal trade entry was a decent trade. There was no Kraken correlation at the low, however, that got broken. There was at this point, but it was very minor, and so I saw that it was going to get broken anyway. I did not take it. Then after this, we had a 15-minute SMTF, which I noted could move us higher, and because I was looking at the 4 hour above us, I thought that we would trade a little further into this because we have like at least a 4 hour order block up here, which is close to 0.705 of the OTE of our previous range, which we're creating like a new range every day to trade in. Then we just short off of it, like yesterday, like here, yesterday, today. So pretty crazy, but I anticipated that we would do kind of the same thing as we did yesterday, just maybe not as aggressively. You can't expect a 1,000 point dump every day. even though it might happen over a longer period of time, and even it might happen today. But I just didn't expect it to happen in the first 90-minute candle like it did yesterday. So that's why closing early for 100 and, or sorry, 360 whatever points. It was my biggest trade ever. My biggest trade has been 300 points even, but this is now beating the record. And that's mostly due to market conditions and volatility. And even on my 300 point trade that I did take, I think I only profited 1,000 today after taking a $130 loss because it was two contracts and it was only two contracts. So that's completely all right. You know, we'll have the sizing eventually to make these pay for our year basically when the time comes. So I'll be patient for that. New daily opening gap wasn't too helpful other than using it on ES because it was a bit higher up. So what I was looking for on this reversal, first I'm looking at the 5 minute market structure shift at 10:30, 10:30, 10:35 is really where I was looking to enter. I entered after that market structure shift and this 1 minute tap. I entered in earlier here because I saw this was inversing. We had a BPR. We were inversing. I wanted to get in. 1 minute for value gap tap. I entered in again. This was a terrible pyramid. Literally, like I just had to go to the 2 minute chart and wait for this gap. We're just gonna use it as the 10:30 gap for now. Like this gap right there, that was the entry you could have had, and proper stop loss placement would be like literally 50 points. 50 points. I could have had 4 cons. I could have had 5 cons even on this sizing, and that would have been like 1 to 7, 1 to 8 with a partial at 1 to 5. So that was like A+ trade. This one was not A+. Really, what I used to take that short is you see the slight SMT. We had this is a microcycle between D and X. However, not significant because 10:30 still needed time. We had previous day high literally right above us, and we were edging high of day. I thought that this edge of high of day would be a sign to short, but it just wasn't, because if we created a SMT daily cycle bearish with NQ and ES, not just ES and Q, and with YM being the odd one out, then it would be really significant. And I thought that's what kind of was going to happen here, but we were supported by 1 minute structure right here. Like nothing on the higher time frame gave us a leg up to trade back into like it did here in the OTE, because we broke market structure on the 5 minute on ES, and on NQ we didn't, but it was looking like it on the 2 minute right there. So 2 minute broke market structure. Then we had our breaker, which was not obvious to see. Like I don't know what you would use other than just this 2 minute for value gap, because there's nothing else that I could have used to pair for higher time frame confluence. Like at least 3 minute, 5 minute I couldn't, and 15 minute I didn't really see anything. I mean, there is that SMT on the 15 minute, but that's the true microcycle. Sorry, not true. That's the microcycle SSMT, which was significant because my stop loss significantly got lowered. I did not need to have it all the way up here at 100 points. I could move it down to like 70 because we swept this. Even this high is protected. This high. The high that got swept in my model, this is always protected. I've like really never seen it tap up into that. Even like if we go to 80%, 85% of the OTE, that's where my stop loss is if I just want to mark it for proof. Because I always say 85% of the OTE is safe. We have to redo it. Why doesn't it just save? 0.85. Put them on there. There. See, I even had more on the stop. So that was my safe stop. We did not trade up into it, and we ended up profiting pretty significantly out this. The way I held this was just looking at market structure, especially the new daily opening gap. And then once this 15-minute SMTF got hit, I was just going to hold this to CE of the day because it was right there. And then we had first presented. I think we're still trading into that and rejecting it. Yeah, see, look right here. First presented is so significant in determining how structure is going to move for the rest of the day, because this could just move lower. We just had to wait for a new daily cycle distribution. So that could be what happens. First presented, really, I didn't like how this was reacting off of that initially. I thought that, okay, 5 minute tap, I can handle it. 15 minute though, it's gonna get closer and closer to my basically where I want to be break even for taking a little more profit out, little limit order exit. So I didn't want to hold it longer. I just exited when we were trading back up to into low of AM again because this order block I was expecting to hold because it's so significant. We traded up into it twice, literally twice. We don't really do that often. And because there was two of them, I did not want to go against that at all. So when that was trading above CE, that exited low of day, literally like missed low of AM by probably 10 points, but who cares? This market's so volatile. So that was the trade. Pretty simple. 10:30 model, because 10 a.m. we had our delayed PO3. I mean, you put an OTE on it. This was the SMT right here between our discount of 10 a.m. range and the OTE of 30 minute, because our discount was really for the 30 minute, it was in right there. That's 30 minute. You can see it was in YM. So YM what gave us our discounted low on the 30 minute. I'll pull it up right here. 30 minute. This is our discounted low. So that was not our discounted low. This was our discounted low. Okay, so that's much further out. I thought, okay, I was thinking a bit differently, but that is, damn. Okay, I was wrong on that. I was just wrong on the analysis. It happens. But really, I didn't need much more than when this got broken, this SMT got broken, I knew that we would just go lower. 10 a.m. was safe. You can look at the PO3 closing. This 10 a.m., any entry above here is safe. I just didn't want to hold it because I thought that it would retrace higher because of just the time aspect. We got to wait more time for it to drop, but I've got to get ready for work. I got stuff to do. I got to eat even. I eat pretty late after I trade. But enough of me rambling. This is literally like you could have traded 30-minute PO3, 0.85 stop loss right there, or like CE of this bottom, like right there, this wick. Even this low, like the low that we swept in A low, that's below 0.85. Like that's your safe stop. So you could have really significantly lowered the stop. I didn't think about trading 30-minute because I knew that it would just move us higher for a short. But because of that, because of that thought that, oh shit, we might just move higher and higher, then I wanted to take a short off of this. And then I honestly was thinking about longing, but I knew that was impulsive to do off a previous day high when we just created, like, off of this at 10:33. I wanted to long because we swept. Where's this low? Well, we were sweeping, creating an SMT with this low, this like minor low, and then moved higher. It's like no microcycle SMT, nothing. So I just waited, and then literally grace of God, we got this microcycle SMT. I did not expect this like whatsoever. I thought that we would just move higher. After that, I had to lock in and get ready to enter on 10:30 because 10:30, like I said, 10:30 price is going to be our safe stop. We traded outside the line a little bit, but that's because we had a 2 minute. You have your stop loss anywhere in the 0.85, 90% of the OTE, the higher portion of it, and above true microcycle open, sweep, the one that gets swept. Literally, you have a safe stop. You have a safe stop guaranteed if it is like the trade following the model criteria, then it's guaranteed in your stop for 10:30. And honestly, I'll do like 10:30 sometimes more than 10 a.m. because 10 a.m. will stall. 10 a.m. like we'll just wait until the new microcycle opens, and then like 10:30 is a great early entry because it might run before true microcycle open. And you don't want to wait for true micro on this because you would have gotten like no entry after that. So in at the right time, price over time in this case for the entry, because this could have been A or X. I assumed it was going to be X after the reversal model. The reversal of this breaker, 2 minute, gets tapped in, OTE. We just swept previous day high. We have a bearish daily cycle and a microcycle. We don't need the 90-minute. And that's literally all she wrote. It was pretty A plus after that. And including the new daily opening gap, that just like after this, traded and didn't even create a body, like rarely in the new daily opening gap. And then this second one, it looks like it was going to reverse, like it's just inversing candles, but that's really just lower time frame structure. Look at the 2 minute, look at the 3 minute. we're trading on these candles mostly today. I mean, it looks like cleaner movement on the 3 minute, to be honest. This fair value gap right here, this 3 minute, is what I was looking for an inversion for confirmation to short, because the 3 minute here is supported. We had 3 minute break, like order block structure supporting, like really, really precisely. The wick is at the bottom of this 3 minute order block for a bullish scenario. So those are my confluences. I noticed that we were trading on a higher time frame chart, but still found a great 2 minute entry. And 2 minute was the one you wanted to be trading on to get this, because I was on the lower time frame and I got a worse entry, because that's not always the case. You got a higher time frame is going to give you a more precise reversal point, but lower time frame is going to give you that like low time frame confirmation, which was like literally entering off of this after this break down below 1030, after tapping into the 2 minute, like shorting after this would be ideal too. That would be ideal. Tapped into the 2 minute. There's no reason to go back to this wick and sweep it out, because we already rebalanced price. At this time, we're rejecting from the 1030 price, meaning our 90-minute PO3 is creating the body to send lower, and we have that confirmation with the Kraken correlation above, true microcycle. Sorry, I keep on saying that. Microcycle, SMT, is the confirmation that our body is created. Paired with the DC, then you get the volatility added. But first and foremost, Kraken correlation above 10:30 and 10 a.m. Then you know the bodies are shifting and the real body is putting in place for bearish. All right, so that is it. Good breakdown. I honestly loved today. It tested me a little bit, tested my patience, tested my discipline with my model especially, because this wasn't an A+ trade. It was more, it could happen at this time and I don't want to miss it because I need one more day to get a payout on one of my other accounts. So that was why I was in one contract there. Then with pure confidence, 2 contracts, pyramided it in a shit way, to be honest, but still held that boy because I knew that I was right. And that's what ended up happening. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys had a good trading day, because 1030 model, it's prime. It's prime. It's seasoned. It's cooked at medium rare, bro. It's sizzling. And you can even hold this shit for longer. You can hold this for like really until tomorrow if we like really dump. So it's all dependent on the higher time frames. Higher time frames hold higher power. So this is just getting the best entry possible for the higher time frames. And that's what I preach. That's how you get high win rate, high RR consistently. And yes, it can be consistent. All right, guys, I'll end it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really enjoying making videos more, because I just enjoy seeing my progress compound and accumulate, and all the things that I'm learning, I'm seeing back in the charts, and so I even remind myself sometimes of things that I need to get better on and improve on, and things I need to think about, other confluences I haven't thought about for a while. So I'll leave you with that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.